Oh, welcome back now. I took some time to really scrape away a good pile of those shavings. Now, let's see if we can get this thing rolling. Okay. This is going to be the tough part here. Okay. As you can see, I got a nice big pile of that. Well, here goes nothing. Okay, good. We got it going. That's what we want. It seems like you have to get a pile of these shavings off of this, the size of a nickel. Okay. Now you notice how this is burning with thick black smoke. That's actually a good thing. I'm just going to put this in my pocket because we don't need it right now. The next step is what I'm going to call layering the fire. All right. And we're just going to put some small twigs on it. Get it going. And then add some more small ones onto it. Okay. You can see this will be nice because, oh, I don't want the camera to catch on fire. Okay. I'm not going to build my fire too much bigger than this, you know, because I'm underneath this big pine tree. Actually, it's actually black birch. I'm actually going to construct my shelter underneath this thing. This is going to be like a sit-down shelter. And you're probably wondering, how come I built the fire here instead of like over in here? Well, I did do that for a couple of reasons. One is that the ground, oh, I didn't mean to make this twist over like that. Okay. Okay. See, I'm not going to pile up, I'm really not going to pile up a lot on it. I'm just going to have kind of a small, yeah, get out of here, bug. I'm just going to have kind of a small fire. Okay. Got this little tripod with these tentacle-like arms that can kind of hold it in place. Yeah. I'm just going to add a little bit more wood on it. But this is a fire I'm going to have to kind of keep my eye on. Okay. Now, again, you know, on this rock here, okay, over on this rock, I cleared away all of the moss, even though it's wet. There's a tendency for things like this, it can smolder for a long time and then turn into a forest fire. I really don't want that. Okay? Nobody wants that. So the fire is not going to be much bigger than what you see here. And it's going to be on this rock. It's going to accomplish a couple of jobs. Mostly it's going to accomplish, it's not going to be cold tonight. It's going to get down to 66, which is, you know, I keep my house at 62. But the job of this fire is basically going to be pretty much one thing. And that is to keep the bugs away. Because now that we've had a spate of hot weather, the insects are coming. Remember conflict. Remember in the story about conflict, okay? There's different types of conflict. I know there's a branch in a way, but, you know, we have different, conflict is basically opposing forces. A lot of times we think conflict is a fight. Well, it is a fight in a way. In this type of conflict I have here, I have a conflict of, you know, me versus nature. I got stung by a wasp of some type. It felt like a red hot needle going in. I knew right away what it was, and because I looked and there was no bleeding, but there was a puncture mark, and it got me like right in the joint of the thumb. So my thumb is swollen, and I'm kind of I'm actually very limited to what I can do. We take for granted some of these things. I haven't done this since I was a kid. Okay. So we get a couple things. You know, conflict here. We'll call it man versus nature. I know people, you know, the feminists will get all upset, but, you know, I'm going by what the literature books have. Conflict, it's usually man versus nature, man versus himself, man versus another character or another man. And again, we're talking about humanity. And sometimes, that's about it. Yeah, we got man versus himself, man versus nature, man versus other people. Sometimes himself as well. I got myself to deal with because I got my pain and disability. It's not much of one, but it's enough to be a real pain in the neck. And that's the bare bones of it all. Now I'm just kind of picking these branches off so I can stand here and not get poked in the neck, which irritates me. But you can see that I got, you know, the fire's starting to go down, but it's still smoky. And again, I just touched this and it hurt like hell. Pardon my language. I want to kind of keep this, you know, more on top. And there's also a lesson involved here, you know. Watch where you put your hands. I learned it a little bit the hard way. Now, I'm going to add some bigger pieces. To this, because now it's going fairly well. I usually like to lay them over here. Actually, that smoke in my face is a good thing. Keeps the bugs away. There. So now we have our little fire rolling here. Okay. As you can see, I used that ferrocerium rod. Love the smell of smoke. Like I said, no mosquitoes. Now, this will come in handy. Yeah. Let's plant myself here. Leader rod. Ugh, getting inundated with smoke, but that's all right. Later on, when it gets dark, the mosquito's going to come out. But this little fire is going to keep them away. Now I'm going to construct an incredibly simple open shelter. All right. Now again, I just said I'm just going to use, you know, this folding knife, you know, to do any major cutting. Most of the things I'm going to do, it's going to be a simple, what is called a debris shelter, and I'm going to show you how to construct one to the best of my ability. Now, this isn't going to be a shelter where I'm going to be laying down. I'm actually going to have to, like, you know, spend the night kind of like sitting up like this, kind of like almost like, you know, well, you know, beds haven't been around for a very long time, if you think about it. Back in the Middle Ages, a lot of people sat in reclining chairs, or you know, what we consider to be a bed is kind of like something in the last 200 years. For thousands of years, people, you know, literally would just lay in the ground with a mat. You know, it is what it is. So in this case here, I'm going to have to do kind of like a sit-down shelter, because I don't have that much time. Here's a little trick. I'm going to take my hand, and I see the sun. I got 1, 2, yeah, I got about 3 hours left. And yeah, it's 5:30 to 6:30 to 7:30 to 8:30. Then it'll be like pretty much pitch black. Okay. I'm going to have to kind of, I got a little spot cleared out, and then I'm going to make my debris shelter. But I'm not going to videotape all of it because the GoPro unit, as you know, it takes a long time. I did a 15-minute video, and it took an hour and a half to upload. Plus, I noticed that when I did 3 of them in a row, I had, I think it was like 70% battery power. Well, I can't really plug into anything out here because I'm miles away from any kind of source of, you know, electricity. Okay. Now it is, even though I see sun, I do know from the, I can look at the clouds. Oh, it does have a nice smell to it though. I kind of miss that. You know, everybody's suffering in a way with all of this corona stuff going on. I guess I'm very blessed in the fact that I can get out and do things like this. Okay? So, anyways, I'm going to start construction on that. And I'm going to kind of just show the final product when I'm done, because it's going to take me hours, and I don't have hours on that. Ooh, does that hurt? Wow. I hate bee. Well, no, bees are okay. Honeybees, good. Bumblebees, actually good. Wasps, nah, not so much. Okay. So, anyways, that's all for now, and I'll have the shelter construct, and I'll show how it's done. Because, like I said, it's going to be a. I don't have 2 hours worth of recording time, or on that thing. All right. So hey, I got the fire started with the flint, with the fire steel. Okay. Well, I should say with the ferrocerium rod. It took a bit of doing, but got her done. Boy, that's terrible grammar for a reading teacher. Got her done. Maybe I should go on the comedy tour.